Hi, welcome or welcome back if you're new or if you're not new. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not. I am here at my desk. Obviously, I haven't done a lot of talking today. It's 7:30 and I don't even know what I'm saying right now. One more time to really let it sink in. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I'm Jamie. I make pottery, take photos, write, all the things. I'm an artist and I'm currently in my ceramics phase of life and loving it. And I've been making my pieces here at home for 4 years today. It is my 4 year anniversary for making my LLC. And that's crazy because this business actually started out as just my photography. And since I found ceramics around the same time that I left my job and started my own photography business, it just took over. And for a while there, I was doing more photo stuff and a little bit of ceramic stuff. And now the tables have turned and it's primarily ceramics and photo stuff here and there, which I'm honestly, it just feels way more aligned with me and my personality. And I've been loving it so much. Definitely comes with its ups and downs. And maybe I'll talk about some of the things that I've learned throughout this video, but I was just reflecting on that today while I was loading the kiln and just realizing how far I've come in 4 years. A whole high school career of my small business. That's crazy. Tonight, we are going to edit a video. We're going to read a book. And what else am I going to do? I wrote my newsletter today. I send one at the end of the month, every month and a half for the past 4 years, which is also crazy. And I did my newsletter and I wrote a blog post. I'm trying to get more into blogging since I'm not on Instagram. Really helps me stay on top of taking photos, which I love, and not just making videos, and kind of compiling things into an Instagram like fashion with photos and words. And I've been enjoying it. So I wrote one in honor of my 4 year anniversary, just about 4 things that I've learned in the past 4 years. And that was also a really good time of reflection as well. And it's such a beautiful evening. It's so breezy outside. I might read and then edit when it gets dark. I feel like I love editing right before I go to bed. I don't know why. It's just nice to lock in on a task and then tucker myself out and go to bed. So that's the game plan. I, as you saw, loaded the kiln and will unload it probably on Friday and hopefully have a lot of pieces. I did turn the temperature up by a few degrees. My kiln is older, so firing to a full cone 6 usually is too hot. So I've done my own little settings and fire in between 5 and 6. And the last time it felt like I could go a little hotter to hit cone 6, so I switched it up in hopes that that would help, but I'm also hoping that it doesn't mean that things get drippy, so fingers crossed. The glaze holds still, doesn't move and drip onto my shelves. I also put the things that are prone to dripping higher in the kiln because that's usually the less hot spot, so we'll see if that was all for nothing or actually a very smart thing to do. Anywho, I'm ready to read. I'm trying to like take notes as I'm reading to better remember the books that I'm reading. So, anyways, I've talked for now 5 minutes. I hope you enjoyed that. This is what happens when I don't talk to the camera for a really long time. I am gonna hate editing this, so goodbye. Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. I do have to leave for work in like 20 minutes, but I thought while I make my matcha and drink my matcha, I would talk about one of the 4 things that I've learned in the past 4 years of working for myself. The first thing that I thought of when I was writing my blog post yesterday, I literally didn't spend a bunch of time like mulling over trying to narrow it down to 4 things. They kind of just came to me, and it actually ended up pretty much encompassing all of the things that I felt. And the first one was to like know why you're doing what you're doing. And I think for me, I've been able to kind of get through the hard days and the ups and downs of working for yourself because it can be very lonely. It can take a while to see any progress, get any feedback, and there's just so many hats that you have to wear, and that can be a lot. And I think knowing why I'm doing what I'm doing helps with the bad days and also extra motivates me on the good days. And if you've been watching my videos like since I started this whole thing, I feel like it's been a good mixture of good and bad days. Some weeks were just like not it, and some weeks I was on cloud nine. And I think because I know that I'm just trying to make the everyday moments a little bit more magical in my personal life, and I want to share that with people through the ceramics that I make in my work life. And I have found joy in doing so. And on the days where I literally could not care less about taxes or like organizing my spreadsheets or making sure that I have enough of this to make this thing and like coming up with new ideas. I just know that I love making my morning matcha in my little matcha bowl and drinking it in my little cup that fits perfectly in my hand and is so cozy to hold that I can stick in the dishwasher and microwave if I need to. And that's the little joy that I want to bring to other people. And so knowing that purpose really helps drive me. And I've been enjoying that over the last 4 years. It's definitely a lot to learn, but in short, knowing why I'm doing what I'm doing has changed the game for sure. Back to matchmaking. Mm. The second thing that I have learned, and I'm still learning, it's honestly all just a process, and the learning never stops. But the second thing that's been a big deal for me is learning to trust my gut. I have had enough experiences to where or in which I did not trust my gut and accepted jobs or projects or took on clients that just didn't fully align with like my end goal or match my why. And I would always instantly regret it, or they would be the most challenging jobs ever. And I would feel uncomfortable and stressed and anxious like throughout the whole process. And it's all because I was listening to the should instead of trusting like what else could come if I say no to this thing. I've definitely struggled with feeling like if I don't say yes to all the opportunities that come my way, the opportunities are just going to stop coming. And that's not true because in the times that I have trusted my gut and been like, this person seems great, their project seems great, but just I don't think I'm the perfect match for whatever it is they are like wanting me to accomplish, whether it's photos or ceramics or something else. And I think that that's okay to realize. And when I have realized that and said no, I have felt by me being true to myself, I have now opened up the door to make space to say yes to things that do align. And there have been plenty of times where I've gone back and forth about declining something only to have a new opportunity arise after I've declined said not right job, and the new opportunity fully aligns with like my vision, my goals, my passion, like stuff that lights me up also lights the client up, and that's huge. And I am now operating from like a more grounded place because of those experiences, realizing that I don't have to just say yes to everything, which I think in the like freelancer like world and working for yourself world, it often feels like that's the advice is just like don't say no, take it on every opportunity. And for me, that just hasn't been what's been the most profitable or beneficial for my growth. I'm not trying to like rapidly increase and change my life in a couple of months. I want a steady, slow build. And that's why I feel like if I put myself out there in the ways that feel aligned with how I want to like share my stuff in the world, whether it be like on here or on my website or making actual print advertising and sharing myself that way instead of on social media like I'm currently doing, I think that my people will find me and I just have to trust that and believe that if I'm, yeah, sticking with like what's important to me and my values and like how I want to operate my business, even if it doesn't look like how it may look for other people, I'm not other people, and that's okay. And my gut is very smart, And I do feel like I'm just a naturally more like intuitive person, and I know that by trusting my like own judgment and just the process of it all, I'll succeed in all of the ways that I want to. And I think for me, success doesn't look like what it normally would for people, or in our like productivity world that we live in. That's what I mean by people. And I am cool with that and have grown a lot, and still have a hard time wanting to just say yes to everything just for the simple fact of being a part of things, and realizing that I don't, it's not healthy for me to be a part of everything, and still expect myself to have the time and energy and space to care for myself and also like build and create the work that I actually want to put out in the world. Trust your gut, in short. Time to go to work. I will see you tomorrow at the kiln. I won't see you tomorrow at the kiln. I'll probably go on Friday. But tomorrow we're gonna be tidying up the workspace, probably getting some clay stuff done, and maybe even throwing. We'll see how I feel after today's shift. Hope that was helpful. Lots of gabbing. Good morning. It is now Thursday. Happy May. We have made it to the 5th month of the year, and that is insane to me. I am hanging out with a friend. We're going to go to a film shop. I bought a film camera recently, and I haven't shot film since college, so I'm very excited to drop off my first roll. Part of me feels like it's all going to be trash because I might have messed it up when putting the film in there because it had been so long, but fingers crossed it worked, because I just think it will be fun to get back into that as a hobby once again. But until then, I'm going to pack up some pieces that I made last week and get those ready to take with me to the kiln when I go unload it this afternoon. Very nervous, very much feeling like things may have gotten a little too hot. So hopefully that didn't happen. I really just don't know if I'll ever not be worried about things getting toasty in the kiln. I have just been sitting here reading and going over what I want to accomplish this month, but I figured before I get into that whole headspace, I will talk about the third thing that I've learned in the past 4 years. And one of those, which is related to me figuring out what I want to do for the month of May, is just keeping track of everything. Not everything, but just like all the money stuff that comes with running your own business. And then also like taking photos, taking videos, taking time to check in with myself every day and see where I'm at, keeping track of like what's bringing me joy and what is not, and making assessments and taking things out that aren't working and putting things in that could make things better. And I think that I have grown to love the fact that I've documented like every step of the way, not just on here, but even like in my notes where I keep track of the things that I make every year and like the sales that I get when I go to pop ups, and just being able to have like all of it in one spot and actually know what's going on and where I'm going. And even like through journaling and having a camera roll full of like life things, it really does help. Like at the end of the month when I'm writing my monthly newsletter, to be able to go on my camera roll and just be like, oh yeah, like this is what happened this month. And they're not all like beautiful pictures. Some of them are just like me sitting on the patio eating something and I snapped a shot. But it will open up my eyes to remember what I was feeling that day or what I was thinking about or journaling about or reading. And I think just taking the time to check in, not only with myself, but like with the state of my business and my work and like my flow artistically and see how I'm doing has been so helpful. And in the times when I haven't done that, I feel very distracted and scattered and just like, what am I doing? And it's nice to have a direction and also have like the path behind me to look back at and see what I've been able to accomplish and kind of make sense of like what I'm trying to work towards. And a simple way I've done that, even in my last video, so I'm looking at it now, just like putting a piece of paper up on the wall that has the days and like what I want to make this month. And so I want to sit down and do that for April or for May as well, like I did for April. And it's crazy that the month is over. I didn't make all of that stuff in April, but I'm going to finish it this week, so that's good. And I now have a little sheet that tells me that I what I've accomplished this month. And yeah, I think it's just important to always be checking in because it's easy to get lost in the swirl of emotions and schedules and just like the overall busy of life. And I think keeping track of like how I'm actually doing is very helpful and has opened my eyes to how I want to feel and live and move and breathe and make work and all of that stuff and how important that is in me making all of this stuff. Because if I'm like not feeling right and trying to work through something, it's kind of hard to creatively feel inspired or uh, feel like less blocked and stuff, if that makes sense. That's number 3. The number 4 thing that I have learned throughout this time is you just gotta make what you want and not sacrifice the whole part of the reason or the whole reason that you did your own thing in the first place. And I'm truly talking to myself here because I feel like initially when I started this whole self employment journey, I very much was kind of just like plopping into whatever I was used to doing for my job, especially since I focused on primarily photo work. And then when ceramics kind of took over and I was just trying literally everything because I was so new and like that is how I've kind of landed on the things that I enjoy making now. I was listening to a lot of like podcasts and watching YouTube videos on other potters just so I could learn how to like throw. But mainly in listening to people talk who have been doing this for like a really long time, I just heard so many of them kind of like lament the fact that they spend so much time not doing what they wanted, only to like years later finally feel like they found themselves and they're creating what they wanted. And I think that a lot of lessons can be learned. I don't think any of the people that I've like listened to and stories that I've heard, it's like those years where they were not doing what they wanted kind of helped get them to where they are now. But I think part of me wants to just try and start with making the work, being a part of the projects, having the clients that feel aligned with me and my end goals from the start, and not that it's a waste of time, but not like distract myself from the goal and not let the shiny object of, oh, everybody loves me this one thing. Let me just make that thing and put my own twist on it and sell it. And that can just be all that I do. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but I am trying to find my voice in this. And I have found that when I sit down to decide what I want to make every month, I feel like there's a different vibe or energy or thing that I'm trying to accomplish that may not be anything that matched the last time, or it may look like that, but just like with a little twist to it. And I think that focusing on making things from a place of just desire and exploration, regardless of whether it will sell or not, is kind of how I'm flowing with this. And I know that's like not the best business advice because sometimes you just got to do what you don't want to do. And I tell my husband this all the time. Like, that's why I'm like not a great business person because I have such a hard time sacrificing like my authenticity just to like purely make money. And so I'm trying to find the like sweet spot where those two things align and what I enjoy making and producing and putting out there in the world also aligns with what people want to see and purchase and be a part of. And I feel like I'm getting there and I feel like I'm making the strides in the direction where the things that I enjoy making are also the things that I find sell the best. Like my matcha bowls. I've recently just had so many people reaching out about that, and I'm like, this is great. I love making them. I literally use mine every day. How many times have you all seen me make matcha? My goodness. If I could just like add that into my monthly making every month, like that's cool. And be able to know that people enjoy my style of matcha bowl, like that's awesome. And I have one of my big hugs. I make them literally every time that I'm making something because I know that they'll sell and I enjoy making them. And so I think it's like a matter of finding a few of those things that I could like rely on that will allow me to play and like make mirrors or make bedside carafes or make this silly little desk calendar that I just wanted to make for myself. And if someone wanted to get it, cool. And someone did want to get it. That's why I just had to paint that one today. So, yeah, I think that really it boils down to making what I want has to matter a lot because it means that I'm staying true to myself. And that's like how I want to do this whole thing. I'm not just a business, I'm a person. And I evolve and change on the daily. And I have to honor that and respect that and just find how business fits into that versus making the business and then trying to fit myself into that. And right now, that looks like me playing around, doing my thing, having a part time job, and trying to build my artist life from a grounded place. So, my bin is packed. We are going to go to the kiln later, and please let it be fine. Fingers crossed. If you've made it this far, thank you. I hope you enjoyed my little 4-year flashback with me. That was really sweet, and I'm excited for everything that's left to come. So, cheers to year 5. I'll see you at the kiln.